Good morning, KD. I thought this morning we could have a little mini writer's workshop lesson together and we would review how to write a sentence again because you can never practice too many times in kindergarten. Now today, if you can write a sentence and that's challenging for you, just write a sentence. If you can write more than one sentence, challenge yourself and write more. So today we're going to write about something we thought that was funny. Something that happened that was funny in our classroom. And I was thinking, I could think of a lot of funny times that made me laugh, especially thinking about all the times we had morning meeting. And remember, we could hear Mrs. Cowan's class always, or we could hear Mrs. Cowan trying to teach them the Foundations vowel extension poster, and they weren't getting it, and they would have to come in and we would practice for them. And remember how silly Mrs. Cowan would be. Thinking about all those times made me laugh. So I also thought of this funny time about when we were having the 3D Shape Olympics. And look I drew it right here. I even drew KD. So in KD, we have 7 girls. Here are 7 girls. I drew all of you. And here are our 9 boys. And I drew all of you. And I made a little speech bubble that says, ha, 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 because we were all laughing. So during our Shape Olympics, if you remember, we would test different shapes, different 3D shapes to see if they would roll or stack or do both. And we made ramps out of these blocks. Hopefully you remember that. And we tested shapes like the cone, the sphere, the cube, and the rectangular prism, the cylinder too. I forgot to draw that. And do you remember that the sphere was really good at rolling, and the cube and the rectangular prism, they were really good at stacking. And do you remember the cone? It could stack if we put it a certain way on the flat side. But do you remember when we were trying to roll it off the ramp and how they all started going crazy in the classroom and you all thought that was pretty funny? And thinking about you laughing and testing your own cones made me laugh. So I thought that's what we could write about. When you write today, think about something that you thought was really funny in our classroom and write about it, and then you can share it with me on Seesaw, and I can't wait to laugh even more thinking about the fun times we had. So I thought I would start my sentence off with, it was funny. That's just my idea. You can use my idea or you don't have to. It's up to you. Now remember, at school, if we needed help with a word, we would look at the word wall, or we'd open to the back of our writing folders and we would pull out our writing tools like the Foundations letter chart or our sight word list. But you might not have a word wall, I'm guessing, at your house, and that's okay. So you can just look at the chart or the paper that you have with your sight words, and that can help you. That can be your word wall. So I'm going to start with it. It is a sight word. Do you remember when we start a sentence, it's a capital letter or an uppercase, same thing. So we're going to start with an uppercase I, it, a T, it. Remember, at school, we use different things for spaces. We don't have different things at your house. You might use a marker, a popsicle stick, or a finger. I'm going to use my finger as my finger space. So it was. Was is a sight word. Remember, we used to laugh about that too because we looked at it and we all thought it should say was, but it really is was. So you can look at your word list at home, and the right way to spell was is W-A-S. It was funny. I need help sounding out funny. So first I hear F, fun, N, and I hear an E at the end of fun, E. It was funny when W. Now there's actually a digraph hiding in the beginning of when. Do you see it? W-H. That would be a tricky thing for you to hear right now, but it's there. I just wanted to tell you it's there. It was funny when the, that's a sight word we should all by know. T-H-E spells the. It was funny when the cone, O, says its own name. What should we say now? Rolled around? Rolled off a ramp, maybe? It was funny when the cone rolled R, O, rolled, rolled, off. That's a word that you would be able to find in our classroom because we have it near some of the light switches. OFF. It was funny when the cone rolled off the, another sight word. THE spells the ramp. R again. Ram. I think I just hear the M. Am. And at the end of ramp, I hear a P. When I'm all done writing my sentence, I could put an exclamation if it was really funny, or I could put a period. Can't put a question mark. I'm not asking a question here. Let's go back. What good writers do, they make sure their writing makes sense. So let's go back and read it again. It was funny when the cone rolled off the ramp. That makes sense. Do my words match my picture? They do, because up here the cone could roll off. I could get really fancy. I could label all of you. That might take a while, but I could write all of your names. I could label cone, and I could label the name of the other 3D shapes. I could label my blocks. So there's lots of writing you could do. You could also write more. If I had more room, I could write, we laughed, and we kept trying it over and over. And maybe I would put my exclamation mark there. So I hope you remember how funny this was. I hope you can think of a funny time that we had together in our classroom, and I hope you can write and share with me. I can't wait to hear it. I hope you all have a great day, and I'm here if you need anything. Bye, KD. Thanks for writing with me.